Oh, hey Brett, what are you reading there, man?
I was just looking at your underwater foraging book.
Oh,
Great book, that.
great book, written by...
Made better because I'm in it.
Look!
And our esteemed gentleman friend over in New Zealand now.
Yeah, Mr. James
Keith. Shout out.
Shaka ya shaka.
Woo-hoo. Or as he used to do.
Yeah. Front cover as well.
Front cover.
That's James.
That's
as well.
James, yeah.
Yeah.
But topic for today, spearguns.
Yeah, spearguns. Where do you even start with spearguns, man? There are a lot to choose from. We have a small selection in just one size range. Just lay it down.
We're not even going to get near to it, are we?
I'm going to put this on the floor. Put this in the way.
We're going to scratch the surface.
We will scratch the surface of spearguns and really nothing else. In other videos, we are going to do very distinct review type videos about pros and cons of individual guns.
That. Yeah,
like
that's what do you think?
This Cressy gun, this Bowshot gun, this Rob Allen gun, this Omer gun. You know, that is not what this video is. This is a little overview, if you're just getting into it, to give you some kind of idea of what you're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
You know, as you get into this. So I'm just going to start by just grabbing the first one I see.
Our friends Apnea again.
Our friends Apnea from Turkey have created a gun, and I may poke Brett in the eye at some point in this video, but he's expecting it. The Whaler. Probably not the best name. I would have maybe gone for
considering the
something
historical destruction wrought on the...
marine environment through whaling. But, you know, they made the choice and they've stuck with it. They haven't changed it. There are other ones called the Ghost.
Right.
The Ghost is, I think, a better name they picked, yeah. I believe there's a funny story Anthony told me at a spearfishing store when they had some sent over and they called it like the Basic because he asked them to produce a basic gun and they named it the Basic.
Kind of like
something like that.
Go to the kebab shop, you just want chips, meat and chips or something like that.
Something like that.
Rather than the full kebab.
Yeah, and they gave them the simple kebab,
Yeah,
the simple one. Anyway, so non-funny stories aside, what are you looking for when you're getting a gun? So there are different prices. There are different muzzles and open and close and trigger mechanisms and all these kind of things. If we just go through this one gun as just a very basic rundown, you have the propulsion device. Okay, so band guns are for me my preference.
Yes, 100%. I don't go near. I have had pneumatic guns, which is compressed air, but I do not use them anymore. Articulated wishbone. I might actually start. Gun length.
Yeah.
That depends on where you're diving. So you can't just say I'm going to have a 75 or a 1.2 meter gun. It doesn't work. No. You've got to have an appropriate length of gun for murky water or clear water.
Yeah. Or for the type of fish.
Or the type of fish. Yes.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean like a bass or a mullet. It means a big fish, little fish.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
You know, that's when it comes down to it. So this gun length is 70. So you'll see numbers on guns. This is a 75. Okay.
Usually it should refer to specifically.
Yeah. That length.
That length there, the gun barrel itself, nothing more. So you're not talking. This is irrelevant. This length of spear and out to the chest loading pad is something different.
But yeah, 75. So 75 centimeters. This length. So that is going to be giving you X amount of power. Okay. It also means it's a certain degree of maneuverability as well. You know, so. A 75 centimetre gun is, of course, you would imagine, more manoeuvrable than a 110 or 120 or
100%.
something. You know? So if you're getting into it, don't go and think, I need a mega rifle,
bigger is not
elephant killer,
no.
You know. 75 centimetres, I think, is a good... 75, 85 is what I tell people when you're starting out.
You know, in Cornwall, you know, you could be up to 90, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because it is
it's
clear.
Yeah. I use a 90. That's
you know, your standard start for me was in this country spearfishing. I think besides bringing a South African gun, I did have a 90 Cressy Comanche.
Yeah.
Used it for years and shot everything with it.
Yeah. So I mean, again, it's like so much personal preference. Saying, oh, you've got to get a 75 or an 85. Don't, but you just don't go over the top. Is what I'm saying. Really.
You don't go and get a 1.2 off eBay, 1.2 Rob Allen or 1.4 Rob Allen. That's
for
off
big
eBay for big game fishing. Whatever.
I've had students turn up on the first day of a course saying, oh, "Can you see my gun?" And they boom, they bring this thing out, and you're like, "Dude, what's that for?" And my phone's on.
The popular chap. They must be getting feedback.
It's feedback really. Saying how amazing we are, saying, "Oh my god, you guys are awesome." They're saying how sexy I am. That's interesting.
Everyone's asking about Momo.
Yeah, Momo time. Check the other videos. So 75 centimeters, nice starting point, 85. It's going to give you that kind of nice balance between enough power for range and for fish.
Yeah, this is an open muzzle here.
Yeah.
Open muzzle here where you've got the line wrap going over, and do you know, I borrowed yours, I think it was open muzzle.
Yeah.
Took that to Norway.
Yeah.
Got very used to it. Don't mind them at all.
No.
A lot of the Eurogun muzzles are closed.
Yeah.
I guess it's just quite easy just to slot it in and.
Yeah, but you know, it's like people always ask is what's the difference between why have an open muzzle and a closed muzzle, and I've yet to really find a definitive answer because, you know, as long as we've been doing it, most of my guns end up being open muzzle, and when we say open muzzle, just to clarify, it's this part here is the muzzle, okay. And open muzzle doesn't have anything restraining the spear itself onto the gun. Got a couple of closed muzzle-ish ones down there.
Yeah.
Here we go. What have we got?
Yep. That's my old Oma Excalibur carbon.
So if you can see the difference here, there is plastic running over the top, keeping that spear somewhat in check. With an open muzzle, the only thing that keeps the spear onto the actual gun itself is a piece of the shooting line which wraps over the top of the muzzle. Some people say it's quieter, you get a better shot sight line down the gun. You don't get the rattle from the gun.
It's under such pressure that at trigger release, it's usually to do with the trigger mechanism here. So at trigger release, this whole system is under great pressure. That will go in, it'll drop that tension there anyway, so that will loose. Yeah. So really,
again, so we have typically come to no conclusions.
That was a scientific conversation going nowhere.
So important. But I think, you know, what we're saying again is just kind of like you can try this stuff out for yourself, and you're not going to go wrong if you go open or closed, my opinion. Yeah. Really. You're not going drastically wrong any which way. Anyway,
you will tend to have articulated wishbones with a closed muzzle type gun.
So the wishbone is this little part here that actually hooks into the spear itself.
And these are they're sort of screwed into this whole closed muzzle setup. Yeah,
whilst this open muzzle's got a single band that runs through. Give us a story of why this gun is important.
You would not believe it, but this gun is the gun I used to land the UK spearfishing record for bluefin tuna, which still stands. I believe they've closed the record now. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hopefully they do.
Yeah.
But yes, so that bluefin tuna was landed off Weymouth, off Portland Harbour, in Dorset, and it was using that very gun. The spear was different. It was a South African Rob Allen 7mm spear, which is just a bit more heavy, chunkier. Yeah.
But if you look at that gun, other than the fact that it's carbon, if you turn that into aluminium, you wouldn't think that was anything special. No offense. No, do you know what I mean? It's
but it was set up, again, you may have seen in the other videos, my system, preferential system, is to stay separate to everything. So gun, float line, float, stringers, it's separate to me. I can just let go. I grab that system and I'm happy with it. Some guys prefer a reel on the bottom of the gun, which we do. Do we have a reel?
No, a reel over there.
Real gun over there.
With its
more guns.
More guns. This thing. But just imagine a fishing reel underneath the gun, and then you've got it. You've nailed it straight away. So there's that. Like I said, the reason I asked Brett to sort of show us that one is the fact that you don't need the newest, fanciest gun in the world in order to get a good fish.
There's a mullet on that or a bluefin tuna.
Yeah.
That's as simple as
I hope you've noticed we have the creakiest chairs on the internet as well.
This one hasn't as much work, I think.
This is my one. Give it plenty of work. So we're gonna flip through a couple of different guns just to show you kind of things. So Epsilon Stinger. This is essentially, it's a bit like Brett's one.
Nice little gun, that.
Yeah, but you've got aluminium barrel. You still have a rail guide on the top. This is kind of part. You can go either open muzzle or closed. So you've got a little metal knobbin to keep the spear in place if you want to go closed muzzle, or you can easily. There's a pin. You can pop that out and go open muzzle. So
I like. I'm taking. They're shipping it with the shooting line like this.
Yeah, so this is shipped as is. So you've got your band. You've got crimped line, decent shooting line. One of the things you'll notice if you go off and buy a cheaper gun, you'll get cheap shooting
components
line.
And shooting line.
Just naff little bits
throw
and
it away.
pieces.
Yeah.
Like if you're going off to buy a gun, if you can spend in the ballpark of £100, I think you're in a good place.
I think you're in a good place. Yeah.
You know, you can go less, but you're going to suddenly see a huge depreciation in some of the quality of the parts.
I'm impressed by the trigger sort of mechanism there. That looks reasonably well made. That one there is ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Has safety catch on both sides.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing for myself. I've always cut safety catches off. I don't use safety catches. I actually take them off.
They literally know. You don't want to think of them working anyway.
Loaded gun
is a loaded gun.
Is a loaded gun or unloaded, and you shouldn't be anywhere near someone loaded, and they should be anywhere near you.
I've seen people point loaded guns at people's heads. I mean, they're even more dodgy than a firearm almost. There's so much can go wrong with them.
I wouldn't put my trust in a safety catch on a spear gun.
No way.
And the amount of annoyance I've had when I've literally lined up on that beauty of a fish, and I've gone to pull the trigger, and the safety catch was on.
Yeah. So, safety catches. The only time I use a safety catch for the reason of using one, or kind of like where I find them useful, is when I'm rigging the gun. I tend to put the safety catch on so I don't accidentally knock the spear out. So if I'm kind of like loading it up and I'm running the line over the gun, and we're going to do another video on that, I reckon, of how to do that. But if I engage the safety catch, it means that I can't just accidentally and then the spear falls down. Like, I got to start again. Okay, so we've got another Epsilon one here. Just to show a completely different type, and just show that there's so many different sort of things out there. The Axiom G2 with 2 aluminium barrels with a gap in between the two with variable buoyancy control, so you can kind of adjust how buoyant it is. Nice little thing. I think they won a design award for that, which is quite cool. It means that you can move the gun left to right a little easier.
What's that? What we got there on that little hole there? Is that just a seal? Yeah.
That just holds that on. That's all.
So it's just bringing the two together. The cuttlefish sort of design of it. Allow the water sort of will go through current, go through
and around. So again, we were talking about longer guns, shorter guns. Moving the gun left to right is challenging with a big gun or a gun that would be solid. So in theory, you could put a hole in it. It's going to be easier, right?
Yeah.
Diminishing returns again raises its head. Is that much easier to move left to right than that one? You'd have to have some pretty fancy kit to be able to test the load.
Test it,
Okay, we're left with a couple of our friends at Apnea with their more top end ones. Let's leave the fancy ones for last. We go cuttlefish again. This is the Apnea Amarok, 85 centimetres, so still within that beginner size. Kind of sexy actually. I quite like this gun.
Right-handed only.
Right-handed. It does come with an ambidextrous grip. I'll show on the other one. It's aluminium, but it has a rubberized coating.
Yes.
To quieten it off, I think. Really is the idea.
Yeah, because I mean, even the ropes and your crimps on your shooting line, they ding, 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 and it's annoying.
Yeah. So, if you're right-handed, Apnea will be your friend because they have these lovely right-handed grips, which it's like someone grabbed some kids' Play-Doh and smushed it.
Oh wow! I might even become right-handed for that.
How's that
That
feel?
is.
It's lovely, isn't it?
That is.
It just
a lovely
feels
feel.
amazing. Unfortunately, if you're a lefty, if you're a southpaw, you're stuffed because they do ship a lefty grip, but it isn't as sexy.
It's not half as. Oh.
It's all right, but it's not like that. It's hard. I don't know if you can see, but like it's just got this lovely kind of like smooth ergonomic feel to it.
It is a nice grip.
Yeah.
It does feel nice.
So back to this gun that Brett's got. So the Amarok, cuttlefish shape as well. So
again, something to do with aerodynamics.
Lefty righty.
We've got a real attachment here for a popular way of having a spear gun.
Yeah.
Particularly in Europe.
Metal components.
Metal components on the is quite important within the mechanisms because of the wear and tear on the plastic, continual sort of under pressure.
Yeah. You got pressure gauge.
Wow,
pressure.
actually hadn't seen that before.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can vary the
trigger
pull pressure
yeah.
thing. They also have at the top the engagement point as well is metal, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then the spears they come with have the shark fin.
Yeah, that's a shark fin. It's above the profile of the actual spear.
It gives you a little bit more options in regards to wishbones.
Yeah, there's
basically.
another one there which it'll actually have the cutters made into the spear and it's quite a sharp sort of edge on it.
Yeah.
Can sometimes wear down a wishbone. You might find yourself don't even a wishbone replacing that.
Yeah.
Over time.
But that is a lovely standard gun, and you would struggle to really see a problem with it, I think.
I'm quite impressed by these guys from Apnea. They have done some nice entry level kit, but or if not slightly more entry level.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't want to say that's entry level.
No,
I think that's going to retail at about £130 or something.
So you're up in your Cressy, Zoma range.
Yeah,
and
so it needs to compete against that kind of stuff. Can it? I don't know. You go side to side, but again, so many of these things. Would you really notice the difference in the water?
It'll be more importantly you and your journey in spearfishing and what your field craft. We call it field craft.
I think you've done it.
You've
done it. Now it is field craft. If it wasn't before, it is now.
You've got to be a trained hunter.
Yeah,
assassin underwater, and that's really more important.
Yeah.
Quieting yourself down. And all the other little things like banging on a gun and little niggles like that and noises that scare the fish. That will slowly disappear.
It comes. So very finally. Floppers.
Above and below.
Yes, go on.
Often the floppers in Euro guns are above.
Above, yeah.
Whereas in the southern hemisphere we tend to have them below. Not quite sure why.
No, I mean, a lot of the time it's redundant anyway because people put little O-rings. Or O-rings. Crimp it.
Well, we will crimp in South Africa so that you...
so you got more tension on them.
Yeah, a little bit more tension. So once it does hit a fish, impale, it opens and will stay sort of...
So when Brett's saying crimp, it's just the top part of the flopper. If you just pinch the top, it just tightens it to the spear so that when it's out...
Pair of pliers, just the smallest of pinches.
It stays out like so, But it stops it rattling about.
So,
Which is nice. This gun is a very different animal.
The roller gun.
Yeah, so the roller gun is something that's been produced. It's been around for quite a while now, the type of gun. And in short, it gives you way more power for the length of the gun. The bands start at the back, roll over the muzzle, and then come back to the point of engagement at the back. So compare it to a traditional gun where the power stops here, all right? So if you have tension runs from here to here. So on this 75 centimetre gun, you actually, the bands probably only pull, 40 centimetres perhaps?
Whereas these on a roller will...
On a roller, that is pulling 85
quite
centimetres.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's at tension right at the top there. That's 85 back to front. So that is pulling twice the length relatively as if that was a normal gun. It gives you more power, therefore, for the length.
I mean, that's what is that a...
It's 85.
85, so you're talking like almost like, I don't know, 1.1.
I was going to say, like a 110.
110.
110 version. Yeah, so...
In length and power and reach.
Yeah. So if you want something that's more manoeuvrable, but gives you the option of having that power and range, then and you like stuff and kit and things to fiddle with.
I've not had a roller gun.
I've had a roller gun from Beauchamp before.
I might like to buy one.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, next.
And you can buy, I think, is it Manta that does a muzzle assembly? Is it Manta?
There's a few guys.
There's a few guys. They're just doing the muzzle assembly if
so
it fits on.
Kind of to a standard from a standard gun. So there's more to go wrong with it, no doubt. But you are getting a lot more power for the length. Various different brands are going to do them. So if you're interested, check out roller guns and Google. Do a bit.
So much on roller guns up there. I mean, you've got guys actually doing pool tests with them. So they're in the pools, hitting foam targets underwater, checking the distance.
Yeah.
They've got some good vids up. So have a look.
Yeah. But that's not us. We're just sitting in the very hot studio.
I wish you had some beach sand and a little paddling pool.
And a paddling pool to get in it and have a paddle for everybody. So yeah, I mean that's basically everything I was thinking about covering on this one. About you.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
Keep it simple.
Simple stuff.
I think it still boils down to that thing. If you can go to a shop physically, if you're able to do that, and just hold some things.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, with guns too, there is a big difference in grips.
Yeah, the feel of it.
The feel of that gun, the weight of the gun. But just on your standard band guns, you can have a big differential in how that sort of handle feels, and you may have small hands.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah.
So really,
tiny.
So you may want to just have a feel of a few guns. This is the thing with retailer.
But don't forget. If you can find a local store and have a relationship, and get in and talk to them, and they'll bore you as much as we have about their guns, and that's a good thing. But don't forget, if you have to buy online and you're a long way from a dealer that actually has a decent range, remember, certainly in the UK, you have distance selling regulations on your side. So that means as long as you don't mess with it and use it and bust it up, you've got 14 days to send it back. You'll have to pay to send it back, but that's probably going to be cheaper than driving 200 miles to a shop that actually has it. So
I would say, and I will punch you here, best money you would spend is actually just have a little introduction to spearfishing course for someone like Ian.
Thank you, yes.
And
try a few things out.
What is your course these days?
We do a £100 one-day introduction to spearfishing course.
Perfect. And I'll tell you what, you buy your stuff once and you buy it right.
Yeah, and you can try all of our guns.
Lots behind you.
Yeah, loads just over there. There's loads, all different wetsuits, different fins, and going to someone who knows somewhat what they're talking about will just save you a lot of time and money in the long run. So whether it is a course or going to a shop, talking to people who, they've got the experience. They're not necessarily trying to sell you one brand or whatever. Is kind of the best thing you can do.
This past time of spearfishing, it's a goodwill thing. It's a camaraderie. It's a brotherhood, sisterhood, personhood, whatever it is these days. Yeah. But at the end of the day, nobody's trying to outdo anyone else. It's good to have friends and in this activity and enjoy it together, and chat and trade gear or try someone else's gear or borrow it. It's just get amongst them. There's so much online. There's clubs, forums, meetups going on.
Yeah, the more you can get involved, I mean, do as much as you want. If you're a lone wolf, stay lone wolfy. I don't care. It's fine.
There's a few lone wolves
wolves, but just chat to people, and then the more opinions you get, you'll realise that some people's opinions are biased and some people's aren't, and you can kind of find good ground in between them. But we will talk about, like I said before, we're going to talk about very specific features on individual guns and kind of give our opinion on, do the classic versus videos. We're going to get one gun versus another gun and really give them a shootout and see really what's our favourite. We will be brutally honest with you. If there's something we don't like about it, I'm happy to say it.
Yeah.
My affiliations to any brand and stuff withstanding, I'm going to be 100% brutally honest if I don't like something.
The thing is with spearfishing is I've liked bits and bobs from everyone.
Yeah, if you could take loads of stuff from different guns.
That's what my kit bag looks like. It's full of stuff,
Yeah, it's very rare to be happy with one brand and one brand only. If you think everything from Oma is the best, I'd probably disagree. Everything from Cressy is the best.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great, but is it the best? Is it going to work for you the best? Who knows? Anyway, we can talk about this forever. So let's leave you on that thought. You go out there, talk to people, and we will see you in another video. So dive safe, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.
See ya.
Cheers.
Bye.